Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Prince, Director of Sports Operations here at the Wellness Center. Today you're going to see a demonstration of foam rolling and an exciting new product called the Star Wrap. When used together, they'll help eliminate muscle pain and combined with our active and dynamic warm-up, prevent injuries. I encourage you to follow along with Nathanael, our performance specialist, and his client Jamie as they use the Star Wrap and foam rolling to perform myofascial release. If this is your first time rolling, I want to warn you that it can be uncomfortable at first. But stick with it. We have different densities of foam so that you can start with the one that's right for you. Another important point is that while foam rolling, you rest over the area of tenderness. Don't go over the tenderness like a speed bump. So follow along with Nathanael as he coaches you towards improved performance.
So we'll start with the calf. Most important thing to remember is you're looking for those painful trigger points. So you want to roll until you find that painful area, and then you just want to hang out right on that painful area. If you roll back and forth over it, you can actually send it into reflexive spasm, so you just want to stay and hang out for at least 30 seconds. Remember to breathe and keep your abs and glutes tight. Another way you can do this is also to activate the calf muscle by moving your ankle either forward and back or in a circle, and that will be a little bit more uncomfortable but will speed up the breakdown of those tissue adhesions. Move on to the IT band next. You want to start just below your greater trochanter at the bone on the outside of your hip, moving down towards the knee, staying on those tender areas. Next is the piriformis, one leg crossed over top of the other, and you want to lean to the side of the knee that's up. Once again, you're looking for that tender area. It should be deep in that hip. You may have to move around a little bit to find it, and just staying right on top of that. This is another angle of that piriformis, just making sure that you can see that you're leaning to that side, so you know you're wanting to get deep down into that hip. Next we'll be moving on to the quads. It'll be on your stomach, as you can see. Once again, you can activate those muscles and increase the therapeutic pain. The most important thing to remember with this one is to keep your abs and glutes tight to help protect that lower back. And just hang out on those tender areas. Now we're moving on to the adductors, or that inner thigh. You want to lay on your side, hip and knee bent. Right down by the knee is where you'll probably find most of that pain. You can change the position of your foot to try and get in deeper with that tissue. Once again, you're looking for those tender areas and you're just hanging out right on them. Now we're moving on to the thoracic spine. This one just feels very nice. We want the hips and knees bent. Start right above your lower back and roll up and down. You don't want to get up onto your neck. And this, you're looking for tender areas. You may get some pops as your thoracic spine realigns itself. Keep your glutes and abs tight to help support that low back. Now we'll roll over onto your side to get that lat. You want that arm extended, kind of start in that armpit area. You're searching for any tender areas. If you don't have anything immediately in that armpit, you can kind of roll down your side a little bit. You never want to get too low on this one, and you're just looking for those tender areas. Next, we'll stretch out those pecs, or that chest. You want to lay lengthwise on the foam roller. The important thing with this is keeping your low back flat, so tilt your pelvis back, push your low back into the foam roller. Keep those abs tight. And then we'll keep your arms and elbows at 90 degrees and let gravity pull down. It's another one. You can activate the back by driving your elbows to your sides, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and that will help to relax that tight chest. This is a good napping position. We'll start out with the piriformis. Want to be standing nice and tall, the bottom foot straight. We want to keep that back nice and straight, abs drawn in tight. If you need to increase in that stretch, you can lean forward from the hips and not rounding out the back. Important thing is focus on breathing. You want to hold this for at least 20 seconds. Next is the hamstrings. Once again, feet are flat on the floor. Want that chest nice and tall. Lean forward. You should feel this at the back of that thigh. Next one is a stretch for the adductors. Feet once again pointing straight forward, chest nice and tall. You want your hip and knee at 90 and 90 degrees. You should feel this in that inner thigh. And we will flip around and get the quads. Always focusing on that posture, abs drawn in tight. Feeling that front of the leg. The last one we'll do is for the hip flexors. You want the bottom of that foot up, bottom leg nice and straight. If you want to increase the stretch, you can twist to the outside of that knee. You'll feel that a little bit more in that abdominal cavity. Making sure to keep everything nice and stable. Focus on nice deep breathing. Now that you've turned off some of the overactive trigger points and worked on elongating that muscle tissue, now we'll actively and dynamically start warming up your body. First one's going to be the world's greatest stretch. Want to make sure that back leg is straight, glutes are nice and tight. With those active stretches, you want to hold each position for about 2 seconds. We're working on reciprocal inhibition, activating an opposing muscle group to help stretch the one you want to. You should be feeling this in your hip flexors, hamstrings, calf. Next one is going to be an active quad. The most important thing with this is make sure you are activating your hamstring to get that foot up to you. If you need help with balance, push your big toe down into the turf. Keep your glutes and abs tight and focus on one spot on the floor or wall. Next will be the hamstrings. We'll start same arm, same leg, keeping that chest tall, abs tight. About halfway through, we'll switch to opposite arm, opposite leg, making sure we're getting all the different hamstring muscles. Next is a walking rotational lunge. We want to lunge forward just as low as you feel comfortable and rotate to the outside. You want to make sure you're moving to the outside of the leg, focusing on that balance first. We want slow and controlled before you're going for speed. Next will be a lateral lunge. We want your feet nice and wide, toes pointing straight ahead. Drop those hips back like you're sitting into a chair and keep your other leg straight. You should feel this in your inner thigh. Really drive through your heel. Next is a straight leg RDL, or Romanian deadlift. With this, you really want to focus on a slight bend in the knee. You're squeezing your glutes and abs and pivoting forward from the hips. You don't want to be bending from the back. Keep a nice flat spine and hips nice and level. Next is an inchworm with a push-up and rotation. We're working on hamstring and calf flexibility as well as core stability. Make sure you're getting nice and stable on that rotation to each side. Keeping those abs drawn in tight, and walk those feet up to those hands. With ankle mobility, we want to make sure the leg staying down is flat, driving that knee forward. And then we'll do hip swings as well. You can flip around. We'll work on mobilizing the thoracic spine with scapular wall slides. Keep your low back flat against the wall, abs drawn in tight. And then we will do a sumo squat. You want to keep a slight bend in your knees, dropping your hips all the way down, chest tall, abs tight. If you can't keep your hips all the way down, just stretch those hamstrings, drop your hips as low as you can, and then raise your hips back up. Last but not least, we'll finish with the dynamic part of the warm-up, doing some running and backpedaling. When you backpedal, make sure you're getting a nice forward lean so you don't fall backwards. Do skipping next. Opposite arm, opposite leg. We want to make sure you're doing nice short skips, driving that knee up and really driving those elbows straight back. Keep those hands nice and relaxed. Think about driving the knee straight forward. When you're going backwards, that'll be the hard part with coordination. Focus on that opposite arm, opposite leg. Then we'll do butt kicks. Stay on those toes, nice forward lean, abs tight, and really activate those hamstrings. Focus on a good elbow drive with this as well. And we'll be doing a side shuffle. Keep those hips low, stay on those toes, just go as fast as you feel comfortable. We want control, not speed with all of these. We will finish you up with a little karaoke. We want to do leg behind and then a high knee in front. So take your time with this one, walk through if you need to. Continue watching this till you get comfortable with the movement. And your body will adapt the more you are working on this movement.